The need for speed. President Obama making high-speed rail a top priority.
Within 25 years, our goal is to give 80% of Americans access to high-speed rail. This could allow you to go places in half the time it takes to travel by car. For some trips, it'll be faster than flying, without the pat-down.
But not everyone is backing his plan. Florida Governor Rick Scott just rejected more than $2 billion in federal stimulus money to build the high-speed rail in his state. So can high-speed rail become a reality in our country? Our next guest says it can. Peter Peyser joins us to explain his ideas. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Allison. How are you?
I'm well. So you agree with the president. You want a high-speed bullet train along the eastern corridor. But don't we already have a high-speed train called the Acela?
Well, what we've got is a train that's higher speed than what we've had before, but it still rarely goes above 100 miles an hour. It takes 2 hours and 45 minutes to make that short trip between Washington and New York, a trip that could take about an hour and a half if we went to truly high-speed rail. And there are lots of breakdowns along the way, as we saw just yesterday when the president of Amtrak couldn't get to the event in Wilmington where Vice President Biden appeared to name the station after him.
That was ironic. So
Yeah.
you say this would change life as we know it on the East Coast. Obviously, it's very congested between Boston and Washington. We would get places much more quickly. How much would this cost?
Well, the costs are something that are up in the air. The Amtrak did a look at the Boston-Washington corridor and said it would cost over $100 billion to bring it up to 220 miles an hour. But that was based on building a lot of new track. We think there's a way to develop high-speed rail on the existing corridor that would not be as expensive as that.
Okay, and who would pay for it?
Well, the Obama plan calls for the federal government and the states to get together and pay for it. We think that there's a potential to bring significant private investment in. And former Governor Ed Rendell and I developed a plan that we talked about in the Wall Street Journal this week for bringing private equity into the equation to own a substantial portion of this railroad and run it in a way that would make it more efficient, cheaper to deliver the service, and cheaper to upgrade the line for the next 20 years or so.
And in fact, you say there's billions of dollars in private equity already sitting on the sidelines to do just that. Peter Peyser, thanks so much for coming in and telling us about your idea this morning. Let's go to Stephen Bryan for what's coming up.
All right.